Doing everything in memory is often enough, and we can export our results using our JSON export, but often we do want to store the data permanently. So one way to do that is using SQLModel. So we get rid of that. And then we just add field here. There are lots of optional things we can stick in. Maybe we want to say that we want it to index it, and maybe we want to enforce a math length of 64. And the film, we want the same. For the year, we might want to set some constraints that it's greater than 1900, less than the year 2100. Just to check we're not getting junk data. Although this application is still in place after the year 2100 and they're still making Bond movies, then you'd have to update it. And bool, we want to index to because we want our database to be fast, but also a bool's a bit ambiguous what it means, so we're going to add a description to make it a bit clearer. We only want one row for each actor in each film. We don't want Sean Connery and Dr. No twice, so we make a constraint. Now a word on the typing. So year here, for example, we have constraints on year. This is perfectly fine, but we can also do it this way. We can also make year a concept that exists throughout our application. When we make this a bit more advanced, we might probably want to make film a first class object with its own table. Therefore, we can reuse the year type here. This year type can be a single source of truth on what years we allow a Bond film to be in. Anyway, so we've got our model here. It's a little bit more complicated than the data class we started with, but it does more. But it is basically the exact same idea. This video, we're just going to use in-memory SQLite database. Once you set up your models, it'll work for all the different SQL databases. We do the same as before. We go through our data, make a list of Bond objects, which in the database world is now a row, and we commit them to the database. So we can print out the bonds again, and we want to order them by year. And there we go. There are our Bond movies. And now we want to see which films are non-Eon films. We can select them where Eon is false. We want to find the first and last Bond film. We can select them by the order of year, ascending for the first and descending for the last. And now to find our earliest non-Eon Bond, and then to find the Bond who's in the 80s, we can look where the year is between 1980 and 1990. And we can group the actors by the decade. And then we export as JSON again. So now we're going to show the power of database. We're going to set up everything again, but now this time we're going to add another film to the database. And then we're going to show that we got 2 films for Timothy Dalton in the database. There we go. So that's his first film, The Living Daylights, and the second film, License to Kill.